But 3 days after Neshoba, Carter's Health and Human Services Secretary, Patricia Roberts Harris, publicized the plan endorsement. Harris was clearly threatening Reagan's efforts to appear as a moderate. According to press accounts at the time, Reagan sought above all to avoid an extremist image. He had to avoid above all the fate of Gary Goldwater in 1964. Reagan tried to get even with Patricia Roberts Harris on September 1st in a way that would be strange for a candidate who wanted to associate himself with racist murderers. Reagan tried to do unto Carter as Harris had done unto him. Reagan told a Detroit crowd, "I am happy to be here where you are dealing at first hand with the economic policies that have been committed. And he's opening his campaign down in the city that gave birth to and is the parent body of the Ku Klux Klan." Carter had just opened his national campaign in Tuscumbia, Alabama, which, although it was not the Klan's birthplace, as Reagan mistakenly said, was the headquarters of a large Ku Klux Klan faction. The Chicago Tribune explained, Reagan accused Carter of catering to an area which fostered racial hatred. Carter reacted immediately and forcefully to the implication that he sought to associate himself with racist murderers. Yet Carter waited 6 weeks to object to Reagan's Neshoba speech. And then Carter immediately backtracked, insisting that Reagan was not a racist. Carter was afraid to alienate too much of the white South, too, just as Reagan tried, successfully, according to the polls, to appeal to moderates and liberals. There were simply far more white votes at stake than black. As the LA Times observed of Carter's Tuscumbia appearance, Dixie is the heartland of Carter's fall re-election campaign, and President Carter came here to stress his credentials as a Southerner. Both sides needed to get the white votes, and both were appealing to roughly the same populations of swing voters. But even in the South, white voters were sometimes repelled by racial appeals. Carter ingeniously turned Reagan's crack about Tuscumbia into a slur upon the white South as a whole, as though Reagan had said that just going to North Alabama means endorsing the notorious Klan element there. In fact, I should point out Klansmen has shown up at Carter's campaign opening in Tuscumbia to protest against him. And Carter got great applause, according to press accounts, in his speech to the crowd at Tuscumbia for denouncing the Klan that was denouncing him. Carter got greater applause, by the way, than Reagan got at Neshoba for his line on state rights, to which the crowd did not react. 7 Southern governors joined Jimmy Carter in taking offense at Reagan's slur on the white South, and Reagan had to apologize. The major black newspaper in Atlanta, the Atlanta Daily World, was not impressed by any of that. This Klan issue was prominently projected into the presidential campaign by President Carter opening his campaign recently in Tuscumbia, Alabama. The Klan just wanted publicity, the Daily World explained, its only motive for endorsing Reagan in the first place, while Carter just wanted to distract voters from the real issues. The real issues self-evidently would hurt Carter if they were discussed. The world's black political columnist, Charles Price, went further, insisting that Carter identified himself with an area that everybody knew was Klan country. To Price, if Reagan's appearance at Neshoba made Reagan guilty, then Carter was equally guilty. Robert Shogan, then a reporter at the LA Times, tried to see both sides. Some at Neshoba might have understood Reagan to promise a release from desegregation efforts, Shogan wrote. But, I quote, a similar inference could be drawn from the president's own remarks about court-ordered school busing on Monday in Corpus Christi, Texas, where Carter declared, I don't believe that busing is the way to solve the school problems in general. But the strongest symbolic evocation of racist memories in the whole 1980 campaign might have been the photograph of the the opening of Carter's campaign, published in the Chicago Tribune. The caption on that photograph of Carter's campaign opening read, "President Carter is embraced by former Governor George Wallace in Tuscumbia, Alabama." According to the Joint Center for Political Studies, Ronald Reagan got enough black votes to decide at least 2 states in his favor in 1980, Arkansas and Tennessee. My point here is simply that both Reagan and Carter made statements that were coded or subtle ways of expressing sympathy with those who resisted desegregation orders. Both also tried to appear moderate, to appeal to northern, urban, middle, and working class voters who had long been Democrats. 32% of self-identified liberals voted for Reagan in 1980, along with roughly 15% of African Americans. There are different strategies of liberation from institutionalized inequality, different assessments of which allies are more effective. The problem of crafting a majority that will defend minority interests in an effective way requires a lot of guesswork and second guessing. It's still a complex and uncertain business in 1980. Some are guiltier than others of reaching out to blocks of voters who bristle at civil rights enforcement, but it's hard to find anybody, or anybody who seriously tries to work through a system of majority rule, who's entirely innocent. Michael Dukakis went to the Neshoba County Fair to campaign in 1988.